Yankees Files podcast. We are back. I'm Will Harris, your Steve Swisher. And the rest of you are fans of a team that has the best run differential in baseball, the highest WRC plus in baseball, and the sixth most Fangraphs WAR from its pitching staff. That team is, of course, the New York Yankees. Steve, we have a lot to get into, given that more baseball happens than normally does between these episodes.
Indeed.
But first, how are you doing as we await the start of this late Yankee game in Anaheim?
Well, I'm happy that I think this is the only time we go out west. Is that right? We do it all in one fell swoop. I think that's right.
I believe that is correct, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, I kind of like just getting it out of the way from a team perspective, but also just from a I hate these late games perspective.
Yeah.
It's just not fun.
Yeah, packing it all in a 3-week span is great.
Yeah, and I feel like we've had a lot of day games actually more than often. Like, so it's not even always starting at like 10 or anything. Like, it seems like they're kind of been a little bit more reasonable than it has been in the past. But yeah, I mean, good. What else can I say? I mean, it's been a great stretch for the Yankees. I think it's been good that they're winning, even though, because early on I was talking about how, Ben Rice and Trent Grisham, they're relying on those two so much. They've slumped and they're winning anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Other people are stepping up more. Jason's hitting even better. Cody Bellinger's been on an absolute tear.
He has.
The pitching has really turned it around. So, I mean, it's nice to see that when something drops off, something else is stepping up. It makes it feel like you have an organism of a team that's going to support itself to, regardless of who's playing well or not. Aaron Judge might be the only constant that needs to be there. But yeah, it's good, man. Will Warren is like, I mean, gosh, the last time we talked about him, maybe even my opinions on him are even more positive than they've ever have been. I mean,
dude,
he's
between
very good. He's like actually very good, I think.
Yeah. It's crazy the way it, and it's not true to say that things turned on a dime, because he was always getting good major league hitters out, missing bats, but he's rounded out his game so much faster than I expected him to, and has turned into a guy you could really imagine relying on so much sooner than I thought he would. And that is really, really exciting.
He really does feel similar to Michael King. I mean, like truly at this point.
Like, that's not just something that, I mean, obviously Michael King, a more established player, but it's not just something that you're dreaming on at this point. Like, you've seen Will Warren go out and do the Michael King thing, and not just for an inning or two at a time.
Yeah, not just an inning or two, not just one start where he looks really good, then blows up the next one. This is a little stretch here. And I forget what the timeline of it was, but he has like the highest Ks per nine and the best FIP over the last like 2 weeks stretch, or some ridiculous thing like in baseball. I think he has the best FIP on the team. Maybe Fried is still better.
He has a 2.71 FIP right now.
I think Fried is slightly better. I think Fried's like 2.5. I might be wrong.
Yeah, Fried is 2.58.
There we go.
Warren 2.71, and then next best is Rodon at 3.42.
Yeah.
Will Warren has more, obviously because it's FIP based. Will Warren has more Fangraphs WAR than Carlos Rodon, which is crazy.
That's a whole separate conversation, because I don't know if that should actually be that way. But yeah, it's awesome. I mean, really, it's a remarkable thing that the K rate and then even there was some post about his Stuff Plus models in Colorado, which I guess always destroys your Stuff Plus models when you pitch in Colorado. And his were like some of the best that anybody has done going to Colorado in a while. He still had like, I think 2 different pitches above league average Stuff Plus, which like doesn't happen. He had like a 107 Stuff Plus on his fastball, I think.
He's ridiculous. In his last 6 starts, he has a 3.6 ERA, a 1.98 FIP, 13.8 Ks per 9.
Yeah, that's insane.
And it's even higher in his last 3 starts. So just Seattle, Texas, and Colorado. It's a 15.95 Ks per 9, 2.45 walks per 9, a 2.45 ERA, and a 0.56 FIP.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he's crazy.
He's not allowing home runs That's really the interesting thing. I think
Yeah,
on the
he
year
hasn't
now,
allowed a home run since May 4th.
yeah, it's crazy. He is like a .7 home runs per nine, I think, right now.
Yeah,
Something like
it's
very
0.71.
low. Yeah. I don't know if that's sustainable, honestly. I think, but
It
that
probably
is
isn't, but
that's
like
driving a hardcore amount, and that was a big deal for him.
we're talking about a guy with an xFIP that's also in the twos.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
the home runs per nine, unless, and it's not like he's a super high ground ball guy. Like
No,
his home run per fly ball is close to 10%. Like it's not like he's just running that crazy low, and that's why he's not giving up home runs.
yeah. Yeah, I guess just because of the way last year went, not just at the major league level, but at the minor league level, he gave up so many home runs.
He did.
So that I do wonder. I think it will regress a little bit, but yeah, I don't think there's any like glaring warning sign that it's all of a sudden going to come shattering back down to earth either. So that's good. I think really for him, man, his four-seam fastball is really good. The velo one, it's not like eye-popping.
No.
But I mean, if you look at just the run value on it, I think that's his best pitch in terms of the run value. And the induced vertical break on it's pretty ridiculous. He was talking in the interview afterwards about how much worse his induced vertical break was playing in Colorado and how it was kind of freaking him out, but he just kept throwing it anyway. And,
that's funny.
Yeah, and it worked. But he is an elite four-seam fastball. Despite only throwing 93, 94, he can get up a little higher than that. I think just challenging with that pitch more. That's been the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's just challenging with his four-seam and getting ahead, and then you have to deal with his sweepers and everything else. He throws the curveball to lefties has been nuts.
The evolution into getting lefties out, and particularly you've pointed out a couple of times recently that he's finally facing lineups that aren't just stacked with lefties.
Yeah, that's helped him a lot.
Yeah, those have both been helpful for sure.
It was, I mean, you have to be able to do it, but there was an element of it that was like absurd. I mean, I don't know how many lineups you're going to face that literally only have one right-handed hitter in it.
Yeah,
I think one time he had zero.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like that. That's not going to happen that often. So
yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, Will Warren's been really exciting. Do you want to talk about Cody Bellinger? Because it's like it's obviously not
Bellinger.
Victory lap season,
no,
but
it's
like
not at all.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and I mean, he's playing above where I thought he would. I mean, for this stretch.
Obviously, yeah, of course.
I mean, he's been a top 10 player in baseball for over a month now by Fangraphs WAR, and he's got like a 170 WRC plus over that time. He went over 4 yesterday. I haven't looked at anything since then, so that might have hurt.
Yeah, since April 20th, he's hitting 310, 380, 584 for a 168 WRC plus, 1.6 WAR. Walking almost 11% of the time, striking out 14% of the time. And it's not BABIP. He's doing it with a 311 BABIP.
Yeah, he's doing it, man. Like I said, he's never going to get back. I think that I still see these rumblings of like, oh, maybe 2019.
No.
He's not. Even what he's doing right now doesn't look like what 2019 Cody
he's
Bellinger.
Emphatically not that guy.
No. But he's making the most out of what he has right now, which is what I think I wanted him to do. And
what we were worried he wouldn't do.
Yeah, exactly. He's pulling balls in the air, and even with this, there are still some hits that are a little, iffy,
silly,
and fluky, and but that's if you're going to be a contact-oriented person at all, that's going to be part and parcel with that. I mean, so that's going to be part of your approach, and I think he's threading the needle well in terms of when he's just hacking and when he is kind of still doing his slappy approach.
I think one of the things that I'm most glad to see is that there are times when he's up there with 2 strikes and swinging hard.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Like we talked about the home run that he hit against San Diego.
Yeah.
He swung that 76 miles an hour or something. And that was a 2-strike pitch. Yeah. It was so it's nice to see that he's not just going into the automatic spoil mode with 2 strikes and just trying to flick balls into left field or something.
No, I think he really is it's situational. And I think we're seeing that from a lot of hitters. And I don't know how I always feel about it, but Paul Goldschmidt has been a super situational approach guy this year. For
sure.
And that's interesting. And one thing I was thinking about the other day is Cody Bellinger, I think, is the only player on the team right now that has upped his walk rate from last year. I'm pretty sure every other player on the team, Aaron Judge included, has cut their walk rate from 2024. Jasson Dominguez doesn't really count.
Jasson Dominguez doesn't count.
But Judge has gone down. Trent's gone down for sure.
14% is down? Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
It's only 14. No, Trent's up.
Is he?
Trent's up a little bit.
Okay.
So I was accidentally looking at the just since April 20th stats, but Trent's up from 10.5 last year to 12.4 this year.
He was only 10.5 last year?
Yeah, he has like a 12.3 season and a 13.5 season, but this is actually his second highest ever.
Okay, actually, yeah, you're right. Okay. All right, well, that would be wrong then. I guess in my mind, I was thinking he had just been more aggressive this year. I didn't even check him.
And isn't Volpe walking more?
Yeah, I guess maybe I jumped the gun on that.
But
Volpe
your
is walking
point
more.
is Austin Wells is walking a lot less.
Well, Austin Wells, even Aaron Judge is walking less.
Yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt just like doesn't walk.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, so yeah, actually, no, that was a crap observation. That was something that came off the top of my head, and I thought it would be true without looking at the numbers.
It does sound true. Ben Rice is walking less.
Ben Rice is walking less. It does. It seems like there is a more aggressive oriented approach recently, I guess.
Yeah, and it's worked.
Yeah, it's fine as long as it's working. I get concerned about some of the lack of walks from some guys. Ben Rice and definitely Austin Wells.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Goldschmidt, I don't even know what to make of Paul Goldschmidt still. I don't think there's any way. I don't know what to do with him.
Paul Goldschmidt seems like a great guy to have on a 1-year contract.
1-year
is
deal,
how I'm
man.
feeling.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't even. Hopefully, the magic just doesn't run out. That's really all I'm thinking of as I'm watching it. He's not hitting home runs. I don't know if he's even going to hit 20 home runs this year. I don't think he will.
I don't think he is.
No, I think he might end up with like 15.
He'd have to do something kind of weird at this point to end up with 20 home runs.
I mean, we might end up with and I said this to Ryan Garcia, like with a crazy low ISO, like 15 home run season for Paul Goldschmidt that we are all ecstatic about. And that's like, I would never have imagined that would be possible. So, yeah.
It's crazy.
Good for him. You can tell he just said, I am not going to be able to succeed the way I used to. It's like the most obvious case of I have to completely be a different hitter if I want to keep this going. And he did it, and it's working.
Yeah, what a testament to him that he was able to observe that and then put into action something that like allowed him to succeed.
Yeah. It's like he still tries to be old Goldschmidt against lefties. That's what it seems like to me.
I think that,
He's but like, I see the ball better this way, so I'm going to still hack. Yeah.
Steve, were you drinking out of a deli container?
That's like a dude, when you get a lot of water in a cup, you know, it's like one of those like Asian food.
Yeah, a deli container.
Is that what you call them? A deli container?
Yeah, that's like a
quart cup.
Yeah, it's a quart deli container.
Quart cup, man.
That's a pro move.
Dude, want more water, not less.
Do you know what Logan Webb, Garrett Crochet, Corbin Burns, Nathan Eovaldi, Logan Gilbert, Kevin Gausman, Seth Lugo, Dylan Cease,
all good pitchers,
Mackenzie Gore, Cole Reagans,
he's having a fun year.
Shane Boz, Jack Flaherty. Do you know what all those guys and also a lot of other people have in common?
They're starting pitchers who are pretty good, all of them. I think most of the ones you noted.
Every single one of those guys has a higher ERA than Carlos Rodon since Best Steel Day 2024.
Nice. Yeah, man, Rodon's good.
Yeah.
It's weird still for me. Like, he's good. His velo is just not as good. And he's succeeding. I don't care.
He's been doing like the climb a little bit during the game thing.
Yes, it might be by design. I'm not sure.
It might be.
And that's fine if it is. I mean, yeah, I don't really care. The results are all we care about, right? And they seem sustainable. I mean, it's not like he's just getting lucky. So, yeah, it's fine with me as long as it's working. I'm always just focused on velo. I guess to me, it's always just an indicator of where you're at. But yeah, I mean, he's great. What else can you say? I mean, he's having as good of a season as we could have hoped for. So
yeah, the only thing that is kind of concerning is the BABIP, but he's also
his hits per nine is like crazy low, unsustainably low.
Yeah. And I do think that will regress to an extent, but at the same time, he's producing the worst contact for hitters that he's produced as a Yankee. Like it's like, very much
in his career in recent times.
It's back in the range of like 21, 22 Rodon. And I didn't check after his most recent start, so that could have gotten even better.
Isn't it like significantly better? Maybe I'm wrong.
I looked at just xwOB on contact recently.
Okay.
But it was significantly better than either of the last 2 years.
For sure.
And he's striking out more guys than he has since 2022. It's just
okay. Well, 2021, his hard hit rate, barrel rate was pretty good. 2022, hard hit rate was way worse, and he didn't get ground balls back then either.
Yeah, and he just made up for it by striking out 12 guys per 9.
Yeah, this is the best hard hit rate he's had.
Yeah.
Since then, and he gets ground balls.
Yeah,
and he does a better. So like compared to 2022 in particular, this is like the best contact managing he's done, really, like in his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a 2.86 expected ERA. I mean, the whiffing Ks are back to where you actually really wanted them to be.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
And the funny thing that I've noticed is, like, during this run of good Carlos Rodon starts, I've had the pleasure of being able to re-engage with people who thought that I was silly for saying after the Jung-Hoo Lee game that Carlos Rodon would be good. And those people seem to consistently think that I'm just talking about what's happened between March 27th, 2025 and today, as if he hasn't been like a low to mid threes ERA pitcher since the beginning of last year. And as if he hasn't been, one of the best starting pitchers in the sport since the middle of last year. Like, I understand that people felt wronged by Carlos Rodon because of how he pitched for the first part of his tenure as a Yankee, but you can't take away anything from what he's done in the last 11 months. Like, he's been terrific, and he's been terrific in a way that is sustainable and in a way that is, with the, like, on the surface numbers, consistent with the way that he's been effective in the past. This isn't smoke and mirrors. This isn't, oh, he only strikes out 7 guys per 9 now, but he's pitching like Chen Ming Wang. Like, this is a guy who had to change his profile a little bit to figure out how to get whiffs and Ks again, but is getting whiffs and Ks again. And yeah, I'm really happy about it and happy for him. And I think it is a serious cautionary tale to the haters and losers as to what you should be paying attention to when you're doing baseball analysis, as is Anthony Volpe. Can we talk about Anthony Volpe, or do you want to say more stuff about Rodon?
No, I mean, with Rodon, I mean, I think there was reason to be skeptical because he had to change so much. So that's why I think there's not that there were people saying dumb things, no doubt about it, that weren't paying attention. But I mean, because he had to change who he was so much, and he's not the guy we signed. He's still very, very good, but this is not Carlos Rodon, the free agent that the Yankees signed to come in and be a top of the rotation guy. He's very different in terms of how he pitches. The results are now lining up.
Yeah.
But when the results hadn't quite been there yet, and he is so much different, there is no version of him that had succeeded like this yet. So yeah, there's reason to be like, I don't know. I mean, I hope it works. It could work. There's signs that it might, but there's no track record of it working. So I think there was reason for skepticism, but yeah, I'm definitely on board now. But yeah, we can move on to Volpe because he's been the hot topic of Twitter for some reason of late.
Yeah. So actually, that started in the Mets series. It didn't start in the Mets season. It started in 2023. But one thing that I do want to note from the Mets series, and we got a tweet from, pretty sure his name is Alex at T00GE2 on Twitter, saying, next time you should do the podcast, I'd like you to mention that Alonso somehow managed to hit a 45-degree launch angle barrel, which he did in the first inning of the Sunday night game. And I want to make sure I get this right.
He looked stunned that it didn't go out.
Yeah, I mean, 110 miles an hour pulled, like, I would also be stunned that it didn't get out. In the last 3 seasons, there are only 11 only 11 batted balls with an EV between 108 and 111 and a launch angle between 43 and 45 degrees. But if I want to know if I just go for, launch angle greater than 45, I want to know what we get, because
What were the results of the other ones?
I will tell you in 1 second, because the website is not cooperating. Obviously they're all either home runs or outs. There are 11 such balls, 3 home runs by Nolan Gorman, Mike Ford, and Joe Adell. And
that's a list right there.
And 8 outs, 3 of them by Aaron Judge. And that's sense. Again in the last 3 seasons. So let's just go with greater than 45 degrees barreled since 2023. Because, yeah, as you can see, it's not super common, and it is crazy. You would think, no, I guess home runs are really valuable, so the WOBA would still be high. I was going to say, you would think it wouldn't qualify as a barrel because so many of them end up being outs, but...
Yeah, that is I remember that ball, yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. I thought it was
nuked.
Yeah.
Off the bat. Yeah. That was off Fried, right?
It was off Fried.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean,
God, that series
seemed like it was in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So
that series really feels like a whole lifetime ago. After all the talk that this would be like the defining series of the whatever, like all these things said about that series, and I already can't remember it.
It was truly unbelievable the way that series was talked about.
Yeah, it was silly.
I'm very glad the Yankees won it, obviously. But actually, this is something I wanted to talk about with you. Neither of us grew up in New York City.
No.
Where do you put the Mets on your list of hated rivals? Where do they come in on that prioritization?
I got to be honest, not at all. When I grew up,
I agree.
My dad liked the Mets. He was a massive Yankees fan, but he always had a soft spot for the Mets. He liked them. He would watch them in his spare time. Like that, there was like kind of his National League, half rooting team. He would go for, and they were never really a threat. They never bothered us. The Subway Series, I was young, but I watched that and that was cool. And yeah, the whole Piazza Clemens thing, throwing the bat, so there was some drama and everything, but I was too young to really care then. And no, yeah. I don't hate them at all. I think there's more, drama now with Juan Soto and everything. But before that, I don't care. I don't really care at all.
I couldn't agree more. And it's I find it a little bit hard to relate to Yankees fans who get all worked up about the Mets, because I just I don't have any. I hate the Red Sox. I don't relate to it.
I hate the Red Sox. That won't change. I think every team in the AL East more than I hate the Mets. So I don't even hate the Orioles that much, but
yeah, I would rather lose to the Orioles than the Mets, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I want the worst possible things to happen to the Boston Red Sox. I don't want there to be any confusion about this. I'm
also enjoying the Orioles just sucking too. I am relishing it. So
the thing that I think, or the two things that I think are good about the Orioles sucking are, first, that if the stuff about the front office just, Mike Elias saying he just wanted to prove that he could do it his way, if that stuff is true and it turns out that what Mike Elias means by his way is cheating and he can't actually do it through drafting and player development, then that's really funny. Yeah. And second, I think it's nice that Orioles fans who were obnoxious about the Yankees have been put in their place. But at the same time, I kind of like a lot of the Orioles. And I also like
Some of them.
Baltimore and like when the team is good, and I think it's fun. So like
I've always enjoyed the Orioles
I don't
because they were
take
bad.
pride, or I don't take pleasure in them being super bad, but the Mike Elias stuff does make me kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for one, the main competition in the division is not even competition. That's always good, right? So that's just good for the Yankees. I do like a lot of their players. I love Cedric Mullins. He's been one of my favorite players for a long time. Yeah, there have been so many Orioles fans, man. Maybe it's because I live around here too. That I am almost certain didn't watch baseball or care about the Orioles until just a couple years ago when they started to be good, who were talking so much trash and are now going back away from baseball again because it's not fun to watch. And it's like, yeah, that's not how this works.
Yeah, and that happened. I mean, that happened within the city of Baltimore too, like pretty clearly.
Yeah. So, little, I don't know, cathartic maybe.
Yeah, no, I could imagine that. But yeah, I like our friend Joseph, DJ La MVP.
Yes.
Like the worst thing that can happen to him is the Yankees losing to the Mets. And I just like, I respect it. He loves the team, but he has animosity for the Mets that I can't dig up in my soul. I just don't have it. And that's fine.
I could see it being more of a thing going forward, maybe, if they're really good. And
because of the Soto stuff, or just because it would be more compelling with the Mets being good?
I think it'd be a combination of both. You know, I think the Soto stuff could be a springboard, a catapult into a more contentious rivalry going forward for the next decade or so or whatever. Though, I mean, honestly, I think he has to play well for that to be true, and he's not doing that right now. Though, I mean, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
I mean, honestly, even just go look at the data. I mean, he's like 99th percentile in XWOBA, but still.
Yeah,
he's going to be totally fine.
It's a matter of time.
The bat speed is down. I think it was Eno Saris who pointed out that he got so much hate for it, but he said that he might not hit 40 home runs again with that.
Yeah,
bat speed.
I saw that.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, that might be true, but he could still post in 1,000 OPS without posting.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't need to hit 40 home runs.
No, he really doesn't. So, yeah, he's gonna be fine. But yeah, that could be an interesting rivalry going forward.
So, couple things just for our prior discussion: 15 barrels at 45 degrees or higher since 2023.
Okay.
5 of them home runs. Mike Ford, Nolan Gorman, O'Neal Cruz, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani.
Oh my God, O'Neal freaking Cruz, man.
O'Neal Cruz hitting balls harder than Giancarlo Stanton is insane to me.
He doesn't, I mean, he's a big guy, long, athletic looking, but he would not be the guy. If you had to look at both of them, you would pick Stanton every time as the guy who's going to hit the ball harder.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable how, just visually, that ball didn't make sense. It's just on a line, just straight out of the stadium. Unbelievable, man.
He's ridiculous, and he could go like 40-40. Like,
I wish he was had a defensive spot he was more good at. He was shortstop. Now he's like center field. I don't know how he's actually doing in center field, but I don't
think he's particularly good at it.
Yeah. It's a shame because he's such a physical freak. Like,
I want O'Neal Cruz to be like the best player in baseball. It would just be so much fun.
Yeah. 100%. And he's a guy, if he could reach his like 99th percentile outcome, would be freaking unbelievable.
He could also like very easily have a 170 WRC plus this year based on his expected stats.
He could also just end up wildly.
Yeah, well, he lives on the knife's edge that we've talked about with a number of guys. Like, he's been an awesome offensive player this year, striking out 31.5% of the time. Right. And if that goes up to like 34, it's over.
Yeah, so it's really crazy. It's really crazy how that works. Yeah. Yep.
But man, he's so good. He's already at 11 home runs and 18 stolen bases. Like,
it's fun.
Anyway, Anthony Volpe on June 5th, 2024 was hitting 290, 355, 448 for a 129 WRC plus.
In June, he was still doing that?
On June 5th. That was the last day he was good.
Wow, I can't believe it. I thought it died quicker than that.
Yeah.
That's longer than I remember.
290, 355, 448. That's a 349 WOBA and a 129 WRC plus.
Damn.
He had a 354 BABIP, an 8.2% walk rate, and a 302 xWOBA.
Oh yeah, see that it was always there.
It
It was always there.
If you looked for it, you knew it was there. And I took a lot of crap from people for knowing it was there.
Yeah.
This year, on May 26th, before play begins, Anthony Volpe is hitting 243, 324, 439 for a 115 WRC plus, so lower, with a 10.2% walk rate, 305 BABIP, and 330 xWOBA on a 333 WOBA.
Yep.
Everything about what he's doing this year, batting average on balls in play, walks, quality of contact, screams more sustainable.
It does.
And there are a lot of people who want to say, well, his OPS started with a 6 the last 2 years, so it's going to happen again. Or, oh, you guys got tricked by this at the beginning of last season. No, first of all, we didn't get tricked. Like I very famously did not. Second of all, when a player changes his profile, it is fair then to evaluate what you think that profile will produce. For example, Aaron Judge, between his first and second major league seasons, pretty significantly changed his profile. We didn't just assume he was going to remain 2016 Aaron Judge once he had shown us that he was doing things differently. Now, the question with Volpe is, will he physically keep this up for the entire season? Which has been like a question that people have batted around. He doesn't always swing hard, which is like, you know, a big part of the quality of contact improvement. But the player we have seen Anthony Volpe be this year does not look like a version of Anthony Volpe that we've seen before.
Yeah,
at least not for 216 consecutive plate appearances. And that is why people should be optimistic about what he can produce this season. And I think, I mean, Ryan kind of hit it on the head. I think it was Ryan when he said, when Anthony Volpe does well, nobody talks about it. And when Anthony Volpe does poorly, it's a referendum on his career.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a ridiculous treatment to give any player, but people seem especially motivated to do that when it's Anthony Volpe.
Oh, my God. So there's been this running thread under a Volpe tweet I made a while ago where I was talking about his chase rate.
Yeah.
He's 90th percentile in chase rate right now.
Yeah.
I believe it's still right around there anyway. So
sounds about right.
Pretty elite chase rate. And arguing with this guy who said, no, it's not. I'm sorry. It can't be that way. I've seen. So he keeps posting every pitch that Volpe is chasing in a game underneath of it and saying, ha ha ha. I'm like, well, that proves nothing. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's like, I never said he doesn't chase ever. Like, yeah. You can do this with anybody. Judge chased some pitches last year. Like everybody's chasing pitches.
That's insane.
That's gonna happen. And then another guy who is smarter, like he knows better. He knows, and he'll even say, like, no, I do believe the data. It's just funny. He'll like them and comment about how, like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, what do we? I don't even know what to do with this anymore. It's like
it's ridiculous.
With Volpe, it's interesting, and I think the truth of the matter is that because he's not Bobby Witt Jr. or something.
Yeah.
He's not, and he never will be. And not Bobby Witt.
Well, they said he was going to be Derek Jeter.
It's not the player who was promised. I had a whole debate about that. And I was like, show me where the Yankees promised you
anything
at all. And then he started showing me all these like New York Post things and this random blogger who said this guy is going to be as good as Jeter. And he's like, see, told you. I'm like, dude, we can't stop what people, every prospect that ever comes up that is really highly ranked is the next big thing, always and forever. It's not the Yankees that told you that.
In 2016, I pointed out that if Gary Sanchez got as many plate appearances as Babe Ruth, he would hit like 964 home runs or something.
Right.
Which exactly at the time was the pace.
Right. It just doesn't. It's really a shame that I think Volpe honestly like takes it well, seemingly. I don't think it really bothers him very much, which is good for him. But it is sad that he's now like hitting well. And I think the one thing that is interesting is his defense isn't quite as elite as it was last year. Which if he had last year's defense with this year's offensive output.
We'd be talking about a crazy good player.
Really great player. 4 or 5 win shortstop. One of the best shortstops in, well, I mean, like a top 10 shortstop in baseball for sure, if not a little higher. There's a lot of good shortstops right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, crazy valuable. And I think the defense will be fine. I don't think there's any reason it won't be necessarily. His speed's a little bit down, the sprint speed. I don't know if that's anyway.
As you know, he's the slowest fast guy ever to live.
Fast guy. Yeah. But he was actually like fast last year though. He had like 80 something percentile sprint speed. He was fast.
But but the point is,
I know what you mean. I get the point, but still it's interesting. I saw when he was running to third the other day. It was like, man, you're just not that fast. Like,
dude, you're kind of slow.
Yeah, like he's just all right. He runs, but in my head, every time he starts running, I'm like, oh, good, Volpe's running. Okay, it's all right. Jasson runs.
Jasson, he is so fast, and he is so much faster than he seems like he ought to be for the shape that he is.
Yeah, and that was always the book on him, and that's what people were like, skeptical. They were like, we don't know how this body type's going to age because he already looks like a 30-year-old bodybuilder at 18 or whatever the heck he was.
Yeah.
And then he's just still doing it, man. He just motors around. And he's very exciting right now. I'm growing in my Jasson love day by day.
He hit a walk-off home run. He broke the streak.
That was unbelievable swing too. That ball was nuked. I mean, that ball was demolished.
Absolutely freaking hammered.
Such a bad pitch. Maybe the worst pitch I've seen all year, but he did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Really not a good pitch at all.
No. He seems to love those, both hands. He loves slow spinners over the plate. He hit one against Gavin Williams in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Earlier this season on a big curveball, and he just freaking launched it.
Yeah.
That seems like I want to see him do that with fastballs a little bit more. It seems like he gets on top of fastballs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him lift those things, but yeah, man.
Yeah, the way his improvements in discipline and quality of contact, month over month, Ryan's been tracking that. Just awesome. Like,
I think his Seager numbers are going up and everything.
He is becoming a legitimate, like really, really solid major league hitter. And it's so exciting. It's just so great to see. And to your point from earlier in the episode, the Yankees, you were correct, could not rely on Trent Grisham and Ben Rice hitting like Babe Ruth forever. But Jasson Dominguez having a 119 WRC plus that looks perfectly sustainable. Yeah. I'd say we can work with that. Yep. Cody Bellinger figuring it out. That's really good. JC Escara is an above average hitter. I know it's a small sample size, but like what?
Yeah. He looks like a professional hitter up there, man.
He does. Absolutely.
I think he's just solid. I think he's solid at everything he does, and I think the Yankees were totally right. And I think they're also vindicated for that other game. I forget what even the scenario was, where they left him in to hit, and everyone was like, "Why didn't you pinch hit?" And then after the game, Boone was like, "No, because JC can hit." Like, we really
he's
believe
this
man can hit. Yeah, like there wasn't pinch hitting Wells for him. Just seemed like redundant. We'll save Wells for something or whatever it was.
Yeah, and, Jasson Dominguez, who's like 11 years old, 79th percentile Seager.
That's crazy. Yeah, he's like one of the maybe like Trent, I guess, and obviously Judge, but like the premier patience guy we have right now, which is interesting because Wells doesn't do it anymore.
And it's just such an interesting profile for a guy that young and that inexperienced to have. Like the thing that I try to remind people of about Jasson Dominguez that often I think does not get talked about is he's not just young. He also hardly got to play any minor league baseball. Like between the injuries and COVID, but he didn't play like,
I know what you mean.
The trolling comment about Jasson Dominguez is to talk about how
forever.
He's been around forever because he was signed when he was 16. Yeah, but he's missed entire seasons due to injury. 2020 didn't happen. So like, there's a lot that Jasson Dominguez didn't get to do that, it's exciting that he has translated his tools to the major league level so quickly for how young he is and how little experience he has playing professional baseball relative to what a 16-year-old would have gotten with health and not a COVID season.
Yeah, he's had 2 full seasons in the minor leagues. that were like, or close to full anyway, 120 games, 118 games. Then last year he was recovering from Tommy John, right?
Yep.
So he got like 58 games in the minors. And the first year he played, that was after COVID and everything else. He was 18 years old and he played for 50 games. So I mean, Will, you've disappeared on me.
I know. I'm trying to get it back.
Okay. But yeah, it is. You're right. Looking at it more again, because of how young he was, because he didn't come out of college or something, or he didn't. There was nothing like that where he would have had any kind of prior experience. He signed so young, and that whole thing of he's been around forever is tiresome. It's nonsense.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's emblematic of just not having anything to say actually about him. Like, no, you can talk about his defense, or you can say he was around forever. But like, he's a good player. That's the bottom line. And Anthony Volpe is a good player. That's the bottom line.
Real. The defense is the thing. That's my take.
Yeah, no, the defense is real, but it's like that's the ding.
Yeah, no, it is. And he's still valuable in spite of that. But yeah, it's bad. It is hurt on a number of occasions too. He just lets balls drop in front of him. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
And then he's had a couple. He had a 3-star catch against I think it was against Colorado the other day. It was a foul ball. He going to his right. So 3-star. I think he had like a 60% catch probability, something like that. So one of the better plays he's made. He can do it.
Yeah, and that is kind of frustrating that he can do it. This is going to be an extremely specific reference, but I think you might get it. A lot of our listeners will like not have been born yet for the game I'm talking about. But shortly after Melky Cabrera came up, he was playing in a game in center field in Boston, and he dove for a ball, and it went underneath him. And I'm pretty sure it went for an inside the park home run.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
It feels
he was like 20 too. He was so young.
He was so young. It feels like someone showed Jasson Dominguez that play and said, you better not ever do that. And this is where we ended up.
Definitely somebody told him, look, if you're not sure, just make sure it doesn't turn into something big. Just make sure you field it in front of you. We'll live with it. That somebody definitely told him that, because then once that's not a problem, once it's just, nope, it's not going to get past you. You just put all your tools towards the ball. He's fine. Like if he's going to his side, he just motors, and you see the speed work, and he looks fairly athletic out there most of the time too. See, it's odd. It's odd that they've told him to do that. I hope it gets better. I don't know. I think it will get better, but
I think it will get better.
He might never be good though.
He might never be good. And you know what? There are plenty of guys who play Major League Baseball despite there being a part of the game that they're never good at.
That is very true.
There's a stat about how young Melky Cabrera was when he came up that I tweeted about one time that I can't
20.
find. Yeah, I think he was. Which is nuts. The Yankees, gosh, dude, I don't want to get into this can of worms at all, but if Bernie Williams had just retired at the right time, the Yankees could have had a way more normal outfield during the mid 2000s, and he just didn't.
Yeah.
Tony Womack was playing games out there, dude. Like
Tony freaking Womack. Oh my gosh. That's 04, right? I think 04 or 5. Maybe it was 05. I can't remember. Yeah. Wow.
And like that was also, okay, we're getting into it. That was the era when the whole strategy was just George being like, oh, that guy beat us in the playoffs. Let's get him. That guy beat us in the playoffs.
There was a lot of that.
That's why Jared Wright was on the team. That's why Kenny Lofton was on the team. That's why Tony Womack was on the team. That's why freaking like so many, Randy Johnson was on the team, although he did have the one good season. Like
Kevin
insane.
Brown.
Kevin Brown. That's why he was on the team.
It was a weird era, man. Honestly, even
Carl Pavano feels like he was on the 2003 Marlins, but I don't think he actually was.
No, he definitely was.
He was?
He definitely was.
Okay, I thought I was wrong about that. Well, he was in Montreal, right?
But not. I think that was earlier. Maybe.
Oh yeah, Montreal. Then he was on the 2003 Marlins because of course he was. Yeah. So he was also that same guy. Anyway.
Well, then they went for Gary Sheffield instead of Vlad Guerrero, which I still
What a
stews away in my
mistake.
brain. Even though I loved Gary Sheffield, man.
Yeah,
He was
no,
so
Gary
much fun.
Sheffield was
Yeah.
sick and he was good for the Yankees,
Yeah,
but
not Vladimir Guerrero.
he was not Vlad Guerrero.
Oh, that would have been nice.
And then like, I don't know. It also feels like they probably should have gotten like Beltran or Santana or, you know, Cliff Lee. Yeah. Anyway,
that's a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yankees are really good.
Yes, they are.
That is the main takeaway from this podcast.
This Angels series is going to be interesting. We got two lefties. Not tonight. Tonight's a weirdo. Tonight is a weird pitcher. Which
So I don't know anything about Jack Kohanowitz. I don't even know if I'm saying his name correctly.
I don't know either. I saw him on Pitching Ninja a couple times. He has some absurd stuff, but he doesn't have any idea what's going on with it.
Yeah, his stats are horrendous.
Yes, they are. He has a sinker that drops like a changeup, like a breaking ball. It's nuts. It moves.
But
like
he
crazy.
like doesn't get a crazy amount of or hasn't been getting a crazy amount of ground balls this year at least.
No,
like
he's
it's
not
under
good.
50%. He doesn't strike guys out.
No. But
yeah,
that rookie for the Rockies somehow not diced this up, but that hurt. That hurt to watch. I won't lie. That they were just I mean, it wasn't like he even pitched well. Honestly, he pitched terribly. There was a pitch that Grisham just popped up. It's like changeup right down the middle. Oh man, that hurt. But I think you can chalk that up to Colorado being weird. I really think you can. I think everything's weird there.
The Coors effect is such a weird thing because it affects pitchers, but then it also affects hitters in that a hitter has expectations about what a ball is going to do, and then it doesn't do that.
It doesn't do it. Yeah, it's like you're expecting a better pitch than you get.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. Yeah, it's
exactly.
It's strange. Yeah, I'm just happy to be out of that damn place. I don't like ever going there. So it must have been. Was it 2 years ago? Because we didn't play in Colorado last year. Was it 2 years ago? We got walked off.
Yes.
Yeah, Nolan Jones or something.
Yeah,
feels familiar. Yeah, okay. That
was terrible.
Yeah,
almost got walked off again.
That dude, honestly, I didn't even remember that series from 23 until I was like in that moment.
You got deja vu.
I was like, wait a minute, we've been here before. This is a thing.
Yeah.
I remember this. This doesn't go well. Yeah.
Also,
oh gosh, yeah.
I want to make very clear that I don't think something is wrong with Luke Weaver, but he didn't strike anyone out and he allowed another barrel, but this time the barrel didn't go for an out, which historically they had been for him.
So I don't know the truth of any of this. I didn't actually look at his stuff, but Aaron Boone after the game was talking about Luke Weaver, and he said that he almost didn't want to go to Luke because he said that Luke's fastball in particular was affected more by being in Colorado than anybody else.
Interesting.
That he almost wanted to stay away from him entirely because of what the air was going to do to his fastball there. So, but
isn't
he went
it
to
cool that that's something we can know?
I know, right? Yeah. That's why it was fun, like listening to Will Warren after the game talk about his induced vertical break. He was like mentioning it because now pitchers can look up at the board and it shows them all of their metrics and everything.
Yeah.
So he was looking up there and seeing like, oh, I'm only getting 10 inches of ride. That sucks. And so he got really scared. And yeah, it's interesting. And I didn't even look at what Luke was doing, but apparently his fastball, and you could see visually he wasn't getting any whiffs on it at all. I don't think he got a single whiff on a fastball. He got it on some changeups.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I still have Luke Weaver concerns, but not really based on that game. I'm not going to use that game as any data.
No.
Or anything. Yeah.
Who will be the Yankees closer on July 26th? 2 months from now. We're basically exactly 2 months from the start of the season. Who will be the closer 2 months from now?
So I'll say I hope it's Luke Weaver because
yes,
I think there will be no change as long as both pitchers pitch well. I think it would take something happening. So hopefully it's Luke Weaver. And I think ultimately I hope that's what happens. I think that's what will happen. I don't think Luke is about to become terrible. There's a world where he just becomes somewhat like mid, like he has some blowups, but he's still valuable. But then Devin Williams just pitches like 20 scoreless innings in a row. And they're like, okay, maybe we switch. That would be an outcome that wouldn't be horrible.
Devin Williams in his last 12 appearances, which is 11 innings, 2.45 ERA, 1.45 FIP, 1.97 xFIP.
He hasn't allowed a home run this year, right? I don't think he's allowed
14.73 Ks per nine, 4.09 walks per nine. Has not allowed a home run this year. Correct.
Yeah. So that's why had this thought in my head yesterday that if you could just tell me that Devin Williams was going to throw strikes, I would take him over Luke Weaver every single
You'd take him over
time.
like every reliever in baseball.
It's just about throwing strikes, man. Because he doesn't get hit that hard at all. Even when he's allowing hits, it's usually guys just like they'll sit on his changeup and they'll hit it, but they're not hitting it hard. They're
it's a
just
little
like
dink.
dunking it in. When I do watch him, I have this feeling like, man, how do you not have like a slider? Like just a
It's really weird, isn't it?
I feel like it would be so nasty off of that changeup to have a pitch that breaks the opposite direction. But I mean, he's been unbelievable without that. So clearly he doesn't need it. But that's what my brain thinks every time I watch him.
Yeah, dude, it's so weird. So we got LA and then LA.
Oh God, that's right. And then like Red Sox come up soon. Is there a series between LA and
so it's
Boston?
At Angels, at Dodgers, host Cleveland, and then the following weekend host Boston.
That's gonna be 3 series in a row. They're gonna be annoying.
Yeah,
dude. Hopefully, let's do well against the Angels. Let's
do well against the Angels. I agree.
We would come home for Cleveland? You said, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
You know what we're gonna get in the third game of the Angels series? We're gonna get all the people saying, "Oh, you say Kikuchi owns the Yankees."
Oh.
It's such every pitcher versus team narrative is stupid. I want to make that abundantly clear. Usually. Every pitcher versus team narrative is stupid.
Except the Yankees own David Price. That one's non-negotiable.
But even I guess that was enduring.
There was a lot of sample on that. I don't even know what the numbers are, but that was
because Gary Sanchez owned him, but also Derek Jeter owned him, and they did not play together.
yeah. It was a long period of time.
Yeah.
There's some video I saw of Judge hitting a bomb off Price just the other day. It's good times.
Yeah, dude. I saw Gary Sanchez hit a home run off Blake Snell one time. That was cool. I'm just thinking of guys who played for the Rays and won the Cy Young. Anyway, it's going to be an interesting week of late games in LA.
Yeah.
And
not a fan of that.
Not a fan of that.
2 lefties on the mound for LA too. It's Kikuchi and then Anderson, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, though, honestly, the lefty thing is not even real. It's not even a real, statistically, it's not real, but I still feel that it is real. I can't help but feel that it's real, even though statistically it's not.
Someone suggested today that the Yankees shouldn't leave LA without Yoan Moncada. I'm here for it. He's been sick this year.
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, that was a guy you talked about. And I think I was kind of sure on him.
Yeah. I didn't have conviction that he was going to be good. I just figured it was worth a shot.
Yeah, no, he's the kind of guy I think would have been fun to have on. I don't know what they signed him to. I think it was a major league deal. So
it was.
Yeah, so that's
might have taken him out of the running.
But yeah, especially with Oswaldo out now,
hey
man, we never even got to. I think Oswaldo died between our podcasts. I don't think.
Oh my gosh, he did. Yeah.
That happened. There's nothing much to say about it.
There's nothing. Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy. I really like Oswaldo Cabrera as a person.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And he has so much fun playing baseball.
Yes.
And that's admirable.
When he robbed that home run in his first game or first week or whatever, and he was so pumped. And then he was pulling balls in the air for bombs. There was a month where
2022 Oswaldo Cabrera was like a player you could dream on.
Oh, I loved him, dude. Posting all-time elite outfield metrics despite never playing there. And then, just pulling bombs and everything, man.
Yeah.
It's sad that happened to him. And now we have to live with more Peraza.
He's not good.
Vivas, who did hit a big home run.
He did. Shout out to Jorbit.
I don't even know what to make of Jorbit. I don't think. Is it Jorbit? Is it actually Jorbit or is it Jorbit?
I don't think it's actually Jorbit.
No, because I've heard some Jorbit. Like from people that should know better. I've heard Jorbit.
Let's find out. Baseball Reference has pronunciations.
It's got to be Jorbit, right? I can't buy Jorbit. I feel like the most white American loser in the world saying Jorbit.
This says your beat.
Your beat. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Or no, sorry, Jorbit.
Oh, so I don't even know what to make of anything anymore, man.
This is interesting. Anyway, Steve, 1 to 10, confidence in the Yankees, who lead the league in pretty much everything and are a game and a half off of the best record, but could be a game off of the best record because the Tigers already won today.
I don't know where I was last time. think it was 8.2, something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's a crutch just basing off of what I did last week.
It doesn't matter.
So I think I said to people I would say 8.5, and then I'm gonna go. Things are good right now, man. I'm gonna go like 8.7.
Okay, I'm going 8.8.
I'll go 8.8.
I'm going 8.9.
All right, fine. Fine.
No.
What would you actually do? What would you do? Where are you at?
The number I had in my head was 8.6.
Okay.
Which I think is higher than it's been all year.
Yep.
I'd really like DJ LeMahieu to hit the ball in the air.
Yeah.
I'd really
we didn't talk about DJ at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he'll give us something to talk about. I'd really like just to have some confidence in what they're doing with those infield spots.
That's like the only thing right now, though. I mean, with the rotation the way it is.
The Cruz injury sucks. But they have, enough competent pitchers in the bullpen that I think they can plaster over it for the time being.
They got Loaiza back right as that happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not to say there's nothing to worry about or anything like that. It's just that, and it's also not to say that those things that I am worried about are a huge deal. But also knowing what what this team stands to gain from Jazz and possibly Stanton and Heel and,
it's going to be
getting Cruz back.
All that happens.
Yeah. So I think 8.6 is the number I had in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
8.7 then.
All right. 8.8.
I'm told I'm the pessimistic one. So, I don't think it bears itself out in anything we actually say about the team, but
that it actually might be. Well, you were pessimistic about Rodon when I wasn't.
See, but even that was more just okay, fine.
No,
it wasn't just pessimism.
Just because you're a bad guy.
Okay. All right, fine.
People should stay tuned after the outro for the theme song that Twitter user Ball Champion wrote for us.
I have not heard this.
You have not heard this.
Okay. All right.
It's a trip.
All right.
I enjoyed it personally. Really, I would say it gets at the core of our brand.
I'm scared.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the Yankees Files podcast. Do you have any parting shots, Steve?
No, let's get through these damn West Coast games and get back to normal life.
I agree. People can keep up with everything we do at yankeesfiles.com. They can follow us on Twitter where we are at Yankees Files. Our podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts with the added bonus of video if you are listening on Spotify. The full video podcast also goes up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@crosstownsports. We'll be back similar time, similar place next week to talk about the series against LA and LA. And until then, let's go Yankees.
Let's go Yankees.
And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey,
I hate you for this.
hit ball over